I think what we're seeing in this evolution of the pandemic, certainly a bigger focus on domestic travel and a focus on leisure and visiting friends and relatives travel. So we think we're moving forward in the post-pandemic environment that those carriers with the best seat mile cost profiles are going to be the winners, relatively speaking. I think in terms of what this means for the airlines and what it means for the bottom line, I think two questions I have especially as we look into the summer booking season. What kind of capacity deployment do we get? And what do we see in business travel on a pre-pandemic basis? Remember, business travel is 15% of volumes, more or less, and at least 50% of passenger revenue. So that's still a big missing piece. And where does everybody else put capacity if some of that business hasn't come back yet? So we're constructive on the rebound, but a little more cautious than we were a few months ago.
Yeah, and your ratings, and I'll give you a lot of credit for this, Stephen, you actually have a sell rating. I mean, you don't see that much on American Airlines, neutral on Southwest, but a buy on United. Is this going to be a pricing power story? You know, quickly, a couple of weeks ago, I was looking to buy a flight for Christmas to a nice warm climate. I looked last week. I didn't book anything stupidly. I looked last week. This is real. The price had more than doubled in a week. Now, maybe United's just fishing. I don't know. But if somebody hits that bid, it's going to be a profitable flight for them. Is this going to be limited capacity, means people that are willing to pay up will, and you don't make it up in volume, you literally make it up in price?
Certainly you have puts and takes there, no? So I think in terms of people looking for travel, looking especially at the shorter end of the booking curve, it's not particularly easy to massively increase demand, in one instance. So in that scenario, absolutely, that can be an opportunity where the airlines can test pricing, especially as we look close in on that booking curve. I think as we get to the summer season, certainly depending on routes, and certainly depending on what carrier we're talking about, I think that's a scenario that's a little less clear. The volumes we think are going to be there. So there's post-pandemic, well, not quite post-pandemic, but the bounce in demand as the pandemic is at least subsiding. That volume recovery that everybody's been anticipating, it's already here. We think that continues into the summer. I think what's more relevant
is Stephen, sorry to jump in on you, my friend, just time-wise, is United your best bet for clients?
We actually prefer Delta. So we think Delta in terms of its muscular position around Hartsfield, what it's done and what it probably can still do in terms of its credit card program, give that carrier some potential tailwind. I mean, we're still constructive on United, and I would say United's relatively weak performance gives that name some valuation protection versus others in the group.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.